In this video, we're going to edit software simulation trainings and software simulation assessments. I'm Paul Wilson, and I make videos about e-learning, specifically the authoring tool Adobe Captivate. If you enjoy what I do here today, by all means like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your e-learning colleagues. So I've done two other videos related to software simulation in the all-new Adobe Captivate 13. This will be the third video, and I'm kind of combining both training and assessment, and I think you'll quickly see why. The differences between these two types of software simulation recording are so minor. In fact, you could probably take one and substitute it for the other and vice versa. So let's jump right into what we're going to do, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've opened up both the training software simulation as well as the assessment software simulation. And I just want to talk a little bit about the differences here. If we return to the capture icon and start to capture a software simulation, we can actually go into our record window here and take a look at the settings for both training and assessment here. So let's click on preferences. We'll click on modes, and this is what's available for demo. But if we select training first of all, you can see that this is configured to capture instructions. We won't be using a virtual mouse in training, so all of these are deselected. With click boxes, we're going to add click boxes wherever we click our mouse. There's a failure caption and a hint caption. Just a FYI, I normally turn off hint caption, not personally a fan of it. And of course, this is set up for unlimited attempts for all the click boxes here. In the input field, we're going to automatically add input fields wherever we're typing text. And like before, we're going to have a failure caption and a hint caption if you're struggling to get this correct here. When we look at assessment, you'll see there's a couple of small changes. First of all, no instructions. So you can see over here in the assessment, there were no instructions captured the other day when I recorded all three versions of this software simulation. Also, too, notice that the hint caption is disabled, so I cannot add hint captions at this stage. But I can still capture my click boxes and, of course, the failure caption for those. Similarly, with my input fields, I cannot capture hint captions by default, but I still will show my failure caption, and obviously it'll add the appropriate input fields wherever I'm typing text. Let's exit out of here and return to the recordings that we've made. So you can clearly see here a couple of differences. So before I close the assessment, which I'll do in a few moments, you'll see, of course, if I open up the properties inspector for both of these, you'll see that there are no instructions in the assessment version of this. And if we select one of the click boxes as an example and show the feedback states, you'll see that hint captions are disabled. If I do the same thing in my training simulation and select the click box here and show the feedback states, you'll see that hint captions are definitely available. If I was to look at an input field, same sort of thing. If we look at the feedback states and show those, you'll see that the hint caption is available in the training simulation. But if we go over to assessment and select that input field and show the feedback states, it's disabled. So the interesting thing about assessments, if you decided that you wanted to convert an assessment to a training simulation, all you'd really need to do is turn on instructions and select the interactive components, go down to feedback states, and merely enable those hint captions. And now you have everything you need to create a training simulation. So I won't go through the process of editing all of these. I'm going to close the assessment project down. I'm not going to save those changes in case I wish to use that file later. And we'll just expand the training version, and we'll take you through sort of the similar setup that we would have done if this were a demo simulation. Or if it was an assessment, we would just simply not take care of the items that are not included with assessment here. So unlike the demo, there's no virtual mouse. Instead, what there are click boxes, which are kind of like tiny little buttons that you can decide how large they are. You get to see them as this blue box with the word click box in the middle. However, your students won't see them at all. They'll look completely transparent. And you can set them up to be whatever size you need to be to cover the item that we want to click on this slide. Our instructions are exactly the same as before. We can type in click on the flights icon to get started and resize it to accommodate the text that we're using here and place it approximately in the center of the slide. Somewhere around there looks good. Let me click the slide itself here. We've got instruction. I need to blur out that confidential information that's on the screen here. I'm just going to get rid of the rounded corners and turn off the border. And we'll place this over top of my personal information, which shows up on this screen. And we're going to add some narration to this slide as well. So I'm going to press Control C. I'm going to make sure that nothing is selected. We'll click on the audio icon in our right-hand toolbar. And underneath Import Audio is Generate Text to Speech. We'll double click on this and paste in our text there. I'll select a different voice this time, one I've used before, and that's Katie. And we'll apply that and generate the audio. Now we can test this out, see how it sounds.
Click on the flights icon to get started.
Sounds good, so I'll close the closed caption window. Now there's nothing to adjust here. In my opinion, you don't need to have different objects appear at different times like we did with the demo simulation. Because here we're just simply waiting for the student to click on the click box. Okay, let's go to slide 2 and do something similar. So let's first of all resize our click box to cover the going to field. And we'll add instructions, click on the going to proceed. Or something like that. Okay, I'll just resize that a little bit to keep it on one slide here. Again, like before, I really like to just bold out the item that we're referring to that's on screen here. I'm going to also select all of this text and copy that. I'm going to click on the slide so that no component is selected. And then I'll click on the audio icon, and under Import Audio, we're going to use Generate Text to Speech, and I'll paste in the text as we have it there. Again, we'll change it to Katie here. And actually, like before, let's add those quotation marks so that she pronounces going to as a single object. Generate audio. We'll just preview that.
Click on the going to field to proceed.
That sounds a little weird. Let's change that. Click on the going to field and just leave it at that. No sense making it long-winded. And I'll just update that audio. Okay.
Click on the going to field.
Perfect. Again, nothing to adjust. It's mostly about what the object covers on there. We're going to need a blur box for my personal information up here. And we'll just get that to be a solid rectangle and get rid of the border. And, I mean, you can spend a little more time being a bit more precise about this so it really doesn't look too weird or stand out too much. But I'm happy with that. And now to the final slide that we'll do today, which includes an example of input text. With these, you want to try and match them to the real application as much as possible. So underneath appearance, first thing I'll probably do is get rid of the border because I want it to just blend into this drop-down item that's on the screen here. Let's go into the text. And from here, and of course I would do this for the different device previews as well here, but maybe what we would want to do is bring this up to maybe 21 or maybe 24, and we'll make it bold, or yeah, bold works, and make it maybe a bit larger there. And then we can place this back on top. That's going to be fairly close. And we'll just resize it so it fits with the screen capture that's there. I think that looks pretty good. A couple of things that you're going to want to do with these, obviously, if we're asking people to type in what they're going to see here, we might want to edit the possible answers. So LAS is good. Let's type in the full Las Vegas if they decide to type that in. We'll also type in Vegas by itself, which would work in real life, so we don't want to count that as a wrong answer. And put as many of these as you can to just make it as versatile as possible for your student. I'll go ahead and press save. You'll notice I didn't type any capital letters. I'm going to just turn off case sensitive. So if they type it in with all capitals or no capitals, again, won't be marked as incorrect. The content of this field will get stored in a variable. If you're going to use it somewhere else, you might want to give it a new variable name that makes more sense. But otherwise, the default variable that Captivate uses is fine here. One thing that I find is missing with the input field slides is that there are no instructions. So let's add some instructions here. And it could be something as type in the first couple of letters for the destination you are going to. Again, we'll just resize this to cover that text possible there. That looks good. And we can copy this text. I'll click on the slide itself, click on the audio icon, and we'll click on the drop down next to import audio and choose generate text to speech. We'll select the text in our closed caption. And we'll type in our text there. We'll select Katie Murdoch, generate audio. Let's preview that, make sure it sounds okay.
Type in the first couple of letters for the destination you are going to.
Sounds great to me. And that's it. We're basically done here. I'm going to add a button like I did before. So pauses on this slide, you can set the action to either exit the course or go to the next slide. Obviously, in real life, what you would do is you would continue to edit the remaining slides in this simulation. And as I indicated before in the previous video, you can select all these slides once you're done, and then copy those and paste them into your final project. Let's go back up to slide 1 and preview this and make sure it works the way we think it should work. Unlike before, this simulation will require us to interact with the simulation. So let's be prepared for that.
Click on the flights icon to get started.
Okay, so I'm going to click on this. This is why I don't like the hint caption. Like I said, I like to turn it off even for training simulations. That's kind of weird.
Click on the Going To field. Type in the first couple of letters for the destination you are going to.
And then, of course, I could exit at this point. So again, all you need to do at this point is return to your Captivate project, and from this slide, continue to make those changes, adding instructions, and setting it up to work as you expect it to.
If you thought this video was helpful, please like and share it with your colleagues. If you need help with Adobe Captivate, hire Paul for one-on-one instruction. Paul's goal is to focus on lessons based on your specific needs. Visit his website at CaptivateTeacher.com. And don't forget to subscribe to his YouTube channel.